All right, friends, today we're going to be talking about printmaking. And printmaking is essentially when you have a stamp. In this case, our stamp is a little piece of cardboard that is in the shape of a heart. And it's when you take a stamp like this one, press it into paint, or it could be ink or anything that you want to make a print from, and then you press that onto a different piece of paper. So today you're going to be getting a colorful background paper for your animal, whether that be a bunny that you did or a panda, and we're going to be creating a printed background using paint and our little heart stampers here. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to cut out our animal first before we start printing. So you're going to use your scissors and we're going to cut all along the outside of our animal. I'm going to demonstrate with this bunny because it's a little more complex, because I don't want to cut the whiskers off. I'm just going to go around them. So with your scissors, you're just going to cut, and you can leave a little bit of the white area. You don't have to cut exactly along the black lines. If you want to show a little bit of white on the edges, you can. To make it easier, I am cutting in sections. I am turning my paper when I cut, and I'm turning my hand. My hand is helping me cut by turning the paper. Your thumb should be towards the sky. My thumb is to the sky, and my other hand is holding the paper so that when I cut, it is helping me. Now, like I said, you don't have to cut all in between some of these things. You can just cut around them like so. All right, once you're done cutting, you're gonna throw away your scraps at any trash can close to you, and your little bunny's gonna hang out on the floor while we print. So I'm gonna put that on the floor, throw my trash away, and now I'm ready to print. Well, I just cut out my bunny. So my bunny does not have my name on it anymore. So with your new piece of paper, we're gonna have to write our name. And under our name, we're gonna write our class code and put it in the box, whatever your class code is. Then you're gonna flip your paper over to the blank side, and we're gonna print all around it, okay? But don't go off the edges. We're not using a messy mat today. So you can get close to the edges, but not all the way, okay? And you could have a plate, or you could have one of these little cups. And in order to make the impression, you only want to get one side of your stamping heart with paint on it. You don't want to do both sides because then it'll be messy, okay? So you'll dip it in whatever paint you have. If it's a cup, you'll push it all the way in, or if it's a plate. And we're going to spread out the hearts. You can turn it and put your hearts in different directions, okay? When you're stamping, when we're creating a print, this is made out of paper. So if you press it down and slam it down, it's going to crumble and it's not going to be good anymore to use it. So all you do is you dip it in the paint and then you gently press it on your paper, okay? And even if your print turns out like this, that's okay. Dip it back into the paint, and you're going to continue to do that until all of your background is filled in with these printed hearts. And that's what printmaking is all about. Printmaking is just recreating the same image over and over and over again, okay? And we're going to do some other printmaking activities later in the year. Remember, don't press down really hard. Sometimes you can get two prints out of one little thing. And be careful not to, slosh the heart around, okay? And when you're done using the heart, you're gonna put it back on a separate piece of paper where you found it. Okay, my background is looking pretty full here, and I think it's ready to add in the animal. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to get on the floor. So I'm going to pretend that I'm on the floor where my bunny is, okay? And you are going to leave that printed heart on your desk, but let's pretend I'm on the floor, okay? And we need to get add glue to this in order for it to stick to our artwork today, okay? And the glue that we're going to use is a glue bottle, all right? Now let me tell you about glue bottles and using glue bottles, okay? When we use a glue bottle, you have to do a couple different things, okay? First, you have to check and see if there's any boogers. So you're going to pick any boogers, which means you're picking off any plastic parts at the end. And then you need to open the glue bottle, okay? And you'll twist it open, and you'll see there's a gap there now. That means it's open. And then we can check and see if it's breathing. If it's breathing, then the glue is ready to work. So while you're on the floor, and you and your table, whoever you're working with on the floor, you guys can share your glue bottles because this is not going to take very long. We're just going to add a little line of glue. I went up the ear, and then I went around and down, and one dot in the middle. That's it. Then you'll just close the glue lid again, or you can let your friend borrow it. Then you're going to take your animal, whatever animal you had, bring it back to your table, carefully flip it around. Now this is still wet, so you'll have to be careful. And you can put it at any angle that you want. So if you want to put it straight up, if you want to put it off to the side or at a certain thing, you can. But once you lay it down, you can't move it. So you'll have to figure that out before you place it. And then you're going to lay it down and not touching the painted background, but gently touching your animal. You're just going to take your fingers and hold it down in a couple areas at a time and count. Now remember, this is oil pastel, so don't smear it, don't rub it. You're just taking your fingers and gently pressing them down, okay? And once you're all done with this, it's going to go to the drying rack.